Surprise. They had it packed up and ready to go in 15 minutes. Wow.
The Silver Dasher.
Morning. It is Sunday. Time to go sparking. And I've already got my order. It's a big one. It's a single shopping order. It's going to take a little over an hour. There's quite a few items for one person, but it's going to pay me $44. So, anyhow, let's go to Walmart, do some shopping, and then make the delivery. So, see you in a little bit. Well, what an adventure. Did the shopping. I did pretty quick. It wasn't that bad. It was just a few, just a few items, but there's a large quantity of items. Only about 2-3 items had to be substituted. I'm on a gravel road. Ooh, almost not as bad as that last one that I showed. But the problem is, just as I start unloading, boom, the bottom falls out, and then the gentleman came out and helped me. I'm glad I carried all the, I put the groceries into those big IKEA bags, and I can carry two whole groups of bags in one swoop. That helped a lot. I was able to just grab everything, he grabbed everything and he just gave me the bags back. And so I just took a picture. So, yeah, man. Glad I put my jacket back on. It's getting a little warm doing the shopping, moving around and stuff like that. But I tell you what, I got my workout today. So I think the plan for today is, man, I'm soaking wet. Is I'm going to head back to Walmart. See if I get another order. I doubt it. If not, I'm going to go home, dry out the stuff that I got, and my tubs and all that. And I think I'm going to wait at home for a little bit, but I think what I'm going to do for the lunch, during the lunchtime where it starts picking up again, I think I'm going to head over to another Walmart. I thought about doing this morning shopping, because I always get an order in the morning, and it's shopping. It was pretty good. It's $44 for about an hour's work. So it is now 7:26. I started at 6 o'clock, so an hour and a half. And I just delivered. Took about hour shopping, about 15-minute drive, so not too bad. So for $44, well, it's probably $20 and $20 in tip. In fact, let's take a look real quick. Yeah, that's what I figured. So I actually got confirmed earnings like $23, but unconfirmed tip is $21. So hopefully that unconfirmed tip will come out tomorrow. So anyhow, so I'm gonna head back, like I said, head back to Walmart and just drive by and see if I pick it. If not, I'm gonna go home, dry off, eat me some breakfast, do some work, and around 11:30 or such or something, I'm going to head over to another Walmart and head in that area. The reason being, I didn't want to go to another Walmart like this after this morning. Go there and wait 3-4 hours, especially when there's a lull, and maybe get another. No, I want to get there when the afternoon rush and see what happens, and then come on home. The Walmart I'm going to is one I always went to with my mother when I took her when my dad passed away. I took care of my mother. She was homebound. She can move around a little bit with a walker, but she can no longer come with me shopping or something like that. And then I would do the shopping, and then I would go pick up some lunch, like Chinese buffet, I go through and get takeout, and like Chinese buffet or Captain D's, or Mexican. She loved. She always loved when we go to America, get the Speedy Gonzales. That I think what it was, it's like a taco, a burrito, and rice. At one of the restaurants, local restaurants where my mom, she loved the rice that they had. And we always went there, before we went shopping, and then so yeah. And towards later years, mom couldn't move around. It was really rough, the year after my dad passed. It was rough. Well, it was rough the entire time. But I can tell you this: taking care of a loved one, that is hard work. That is you have no imagination. I was lucky that my mom was still mobile enough that she can do simple things. Now she took she's able to she was able to cook for herself, and sim clean, but we did have to hire a nurse to come over once a week, check her and give her a bath and stuff like that. But she was still mobile. I did have to rent a hospital bed and put it in the living room. That made it a whole lot easier for her, so she didn't have to travel very far. And it was low to the ground because her old bed was a little higher, and she fell a couple times. So I got her hospital bed, but that made life for her a lot easier. But she was too damn independent. I tried to find some other care, but she refused. She said, "Look, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die at home." Well, she almost died at home. She had gallbladder surgery, which was successful, but she caught COVID in the hospital and passed away a week after her surgery. I did not get to physically see her during that time, and the nurse, God bless those nurses, in the COVID ward. They knew. Nurses know when the end is near. They've seen it many times. So she was able to FaceTime me with her phone and my phone. I got to see my mom the day before she passed away. So yeah, that was tough. Lost both parents in the hospital after surgery. Technically, my dad was in rehab. He had back surgery, and then had a heart attack. And then my mom. So I'm kind of leery having surgery in hospitals. I know that's silly, but I try to avoid things like that. But when you have surgery, you gotta have surgery. So anyway, enough doom and gloom. So it must have rained earlier this morning because things were wet, but now it's kind of sprinkly. It's not where I got doused. Now it's kind of misty. Whew, back my neck's a little wet. But so yeah, that's the plan. Gonna go back, drive by the Walmart real quick, just drive by it and see what happens, and then go home, get me something, fix a little breakfast, do some work, and then right before it have a little lunch, and then I'm gonna head over to another Walmart. So let's see how that works out. So anyway, heading home. See you in a little bit. Well, just as I got close to Walmart, I picked up a small little shopping. $17 for 12 miles. So, well, since sunlight made here, I might as well do that one before I go home. So, anyway, so I'm parked already, so I'm going to Walmart and do some more shopping. So, see you in a little bit. Wow, that was a nice surprise. This is now an official repeat Walmart customer. I suspected it was because I looked at the instructions. It said a house with a ramp. So wait a minute, I've been to that house before, or at least the instructions. Sure enough, it was, because I recognized the steps and all that. So another Walmart repeat customer. How you like that? So yeah, it's I was surprised to pick up that little shopping order. According to the Walmart, it's yellow, not red. So yeah, that's so I was a little surprised. So I think I'll still try, but it's raining pretty steadily now. Not like heavy when I got soaked, but it's kind of misty right now. So I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna try and I was going to try to get gas, but then that little order popped up, express shopping. So, yeah, but pleasant surprise. It's dreary out here right now. It's just like rain. But it's not that cold. It's in the mid 40s. Oh, it's cold, but it's 46 according to the car. The wind's not blowing, so it's not that cold, but it's not like, it's not like it's 30 and wet, that's really cold and miserable. But yeah, we're coming to a warm spell. We're gonna be in the mid 60s during Christmas. but yeah, that's still a pleasant surprise. I'm still gonna go home. I'm gonna try to get gas first, and then go home. Still haven't eaten breakfast. Shoot, if I pick another shopping order, I may have to. I won't be get back until to eat lunch. So, anyhow, let me go make my way back. I'm in Lincoln, enemy territory. Where I delivered, not only that was a repeat Walmart customer, but it's also an area that I've delivered many times around DoorDash and coming out here into Lincoln. So anyway, heading back to Walmart just to see if I get something. I'm also going to get gas, and if I don't get anything, we'll head home and wait out for lunch there. So see you in a little bit. Well, surprise. I was waiting at home, just going to hang around, do some stuff, and wait, go to another Walmart around lunch, and then I picked up a shopping order here locally. So, on to Walmart, shopping, and then the customer. See you in a little bit. I just dropped off that shopping order. Wasn't too bad. Only people are buying all the orders, shopping orders done today are people are buying baking items. But a lot of stuff is gone. Like especially like the vanilla, melted vanilla to make candies and vanilla covered cookies, stuff like that. A lot of that stuff is gone. So yeah, went over to the standard neighborhood that I've been to many times, door dashing. So anyway, I was going to go. I still plan on going here to go over to another Walmart. I just happened to pick up the shopping, but I want to try another Walmart, particularly the pickups over there. So my experience with pickups over here in Pell City is atrocious. 95% of my pickups are canceled. So anyhow, So it's now almost 11 o'clock, and now I'm going to go and I'm going to fix me something to eat real quick, and then I'm going, unless I get another shopping order, I'm going to head on over to another Walmart and try some pickups and of course shopping over there. So yeah, but this morning, yeah, I've had I think 3 shopping this morning. That's rare. Well, it's also everybody's out of school. Christmas is, today's Sunday. Christmas is Thursday. People trying to get last minute things. I'm going to be sparking Wednesday, which is the day before. No, I may not be sparking, depending on what we're doing for family Christmas. So the schedule may be a little different this week. So anyhow, I'm going to head home, get something to eat. If I get another shopping hour, I'll take it. If not, I'll make my way to another Walmart, which is about 30 minutes away. And there's to do this, towards lunch and all that. The lunch on Sunday, the afternoon rush happens a lot, so I'm going to try a different Walmart over there. And the reason I stayed here is because, I know the morning is a little slow, except for, for some today was not. I got 3 orders today. So anyway, whew, man, what a day. So, but it's still wet, I'm still trying. In fact, my phone got the charger. Says, remove the charger. There's moisture in there, so I had to use the hairdryer on that. So anyway, heading home, get some lunch, and then next Walmart. See you in a little bit. Oh, welcome back. It's just a little bit after 11 o'clock. Actually, it's almost 12 o'clock. I am now, I'm going to drive over to another Walmart, which is about 30 minutes away. I'm going to try to see how pickups and, of course, shopping's over there, but mainly to see how, if I get pickups, how they turn out over at the other Walmart. So, but, the Walmart here is currently busy, but I've got the spark off because I'm going to learn how to see if I can switch over to another Walmart, see how that works, and then see how things work over there. Mainly for about the pickups, because pickups over here just don't work. It's gonna be interesting to see. So anyway, like I said, just had lunch and moving over to another Walmart. So when I get there, I'll let you know. So see you in a little bit. Well, I'm here at the Anniston Walmart. I'm very familiar with this Walmart. This is the Walmart that I took my mom shopping all the time. And when I used to live here, this is the Walmart we probably went to. And what's unique is this area, there are 3 Walmarts within the zone. This one, Jacksonville, where I went to college, which is about 20 minutes that way, and Oxford, which is about another 20 minutes that way. And I think there's a Sam's Club here too. So this area, I'm surrounded by Walmarts. The only inconvenience is I'm 30 minutes away from home, so I can't go home and do something like that. But I can go by, if I need to, I can make a emergency pit stop at my parents' house. So anyhow, so I can't do the pickup yet because I gotta wait 5 minutes. But this pickup is 3 drop-offs. It says it's going to take about 44 minutes, 8.6 miles, and it's for $33.26. So, yeah, it's going to be, looks like the biggest one is going to be about 45 items, actually 65 items. So the other 2 are small. And they're all in Anniston. So let's see how pickup works over here. Let's say if it gets canceled or how long it takes for them to deliver. What's unique about this pickup zone over there, the pickup zone over there is not in the middle of the normal parking lot. It's off to the side. And it looks like it's easy to get in and out compared to Pell City, where they got one strip of like normal parking spaces, but they just dedicated to pickup. And you constantly have to fight not only, traffic, pickup traffic, but normal Walmart traffic. So, all right. We'll see how well this works. See you in a little bit. Surprise. They had it packed up and ready to go in 15 minutes. Wow. So, all right, let's go do these drop-offs. See you in a little bit. Well, I just made the final drop-off of that pickup, and it actually got me closer to the Oxford Walmart, and I picked up a shopping over there. That's small, but this is all new territory for me. Something to learn. So yeah, this is different. But I grew up in this area. This is where I went to high school. This is where I went to elementary and the first few years of high school, and then because this is where the military base was located, and this place was hopping. This is Fort McClellan was the base out here. There was the home of the chemical school and the military police school, and this whole area there was hopping. It was, then all of a sudden they closed it, and they, through politics and all that, they closed down the fort, moved it up north, and it killed this whole town. It killed it. And as I was driving in the back neighborhoods over in what's called Blue Mountain, you could tell the neighborhoods out there were very nice at one time. Unique houses built in the early 70s, late 60s. Huge, you could tell they were sprawling, but now they're all run down, and there's no just a little bit of industry, but there's nothing big out here. This whole area is dying. In the neighborhood where my parents' house is, that used to be sprawling, very popular. Heck, when I grew up, it was, all the houses were nice. There was a subdivision across the street that were a little bit more upscale. They had a country club and everything. Now that's been not the case anymore. But in fact, driving by my dad's old workplace, the county jail here. I've been there a couple times, to visit and stuff like that. But yeah, it's sad. We first moved here when I was in 6th grade, elementary school, and things were different. I remember the local movie theater here. I remember we started living in 1976. I remember when Star Wars came out. And my first inkling to give you some idea, the first inkling of Star Wars for me was my parents would go grocery shopping once a week, and of course I stayed home. But they would get me a magazine if they had it. It was called Starlog. A lot of people know what that is. And I remember getting the second issue, and I remember they advertised the thing about Star Wars, and it was what intrigued me. Of course, they told the story, but the only picture they had was with Ralph McGuire's painting, and what it was his early concept of stormtroopers. The stormtroopers had lightsabers.
Go past this light and turn right onto Alabama 21 South,
and,
Windard Avenue.
And then it had a little blurb about, Spartan stations, and so I wanted to go see it. Well, it came out, and it was a big deal, but back, they didn't have the multiplex, movie theaters here during the time. There was one, like it had four cinemas, but it was way over in the next town. But the small little theater in downtown here, which is now an office, that's where my accountant has his office, but they still have this the old theater. And I remember my father taking me. Now my father was not into science fiction, all that. He grew up poor in Mississippi, dirt poor, and so he took me to see Star Wars. I remember 1977. I think it was called the Calhoun Theater. To me, that is the fondest memory I have of my dad. My dad never really understood the hobbies. I liked the sci-fi stuff. I was into skill models like planes, boats, ships, that type of thing, gluing and painting them. Of course, comic books and that type of thing. Just he was not into that. You couldn't relate to it. That's probably the biggest thing. My mother could, because she grew up in Germany, and her mother, my grandmother, was big into fairy tales. I think that's where I got my passion for fantasy, because my German grandmother loved the fairy tales, and she would tell the story. Grew up telling the stories, fairy tale stories to her children, including my mother. But I'll never forget watching Star Wars for the very first time with my dad in a small theater, and it'll ingrained in my brain the opening scene of Star Wars with the big Star Destroyer just kept going and going, flying over, and I was hooked. But that's the fondest memory I've had with my dad as a child. That was so long ago. But nowadays, the downtown has all been redone, has broken down, is redone. Storefronts changed. The theater closed down and turned into an office building. We used to have it when I was then later on, a couple of years later, when I was going to high school. Actually, when we came back, I was going to college. They had a multiplex theater right next to the Walmart in downtown on Quintard, but then eventually that closed down. And I watched. I remember summers was always good because I watched so many movies during the summer, especially when they premiered. That was a lot of fun. Go out with friends, and then that was. But me personally, I have not been to a movie theater in several years. I've been to the one when we first moved to Pell City. There's a cinema that has the lounge chairs. I've seen couple movies in there. I love the lounge chairs. But I refuse to take my wife. She goes in there and falls asleep. I'm not spending $30 for her to fall asleep in the movie theater. I told her that, and she gets upset. So sorry. I go to movies by myself to see movies I like to see, and she doesn't like the movies I do. But she gets mad and says, "What are you doing?" "Well, I'm not spending $30 to have you fall asleep in the movie theater." So, anyway, I'm gonna be honest. I've never been to this particular Walmart. This is gonna be a new one. So, it's on the other side of the interstate. So, anyway, approaching the Oxford Walmart. I'm gonna do shopping, and then we'll go to the customer. So, let's see a little bit. Well, I just finished the shopping, and I'm on the way to the customer. But a couple things I noticed. This is a way bigger Walmart than the one in Pell City. It's way bigger. Two, they don't allow dedicated Spark checkout. Even though they have Spark checkout registers, they would not let me check out. I had to stand on the checkout line, self checkout. So I had to wait in a long line to do Spark checkout. Every Walmart I've been to, the Spark register was for Spark. Pell City has two, but sometimes they get down to one because they unlock one, but they always keep one for the Spark. And that's a new one. So took me a little longer to get done. One of the items for the customer I had to substitute. The other one, they wanted specific candy from the end of the aisle, grocery checkout line. I checked every one. They didn't have it. They kept saying, "Well, check here, check here." Well, no, I checked all lines. So anyhow, unfortunately that customer didn't get that particular candy. The other stuff they got, there was another piece of candy they got. And they wanted a toy, a Nerf gun. I'm glad I got it. There were two left. So I think that's probably the main reason why they went and got it. So anyhow, I'm actually now getting on the interstate, heading further away from Pell City. I'm heading to Heflin, if y'all know what that means. So yeah, it's a long ways, but when I come back, I was just learning. This is all to me. I'm learning. I'll do better next time. I'll probably come out here on Sundays afternoons, because things are happening over here with three Walmarts and a Sam's Club. So anyway, on to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just made that drop off. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have taken that order, but I'm gonna be honest, I was just so excited getting an order after being out here, back-to-back orders, and what threw me off was getting that pickup with 3 drop-offs right away after 15 minutes. Man, 3 drop-offs, and they had me loaded up in 15 minutes from the time I started the trip. Man, oh, shocked. So anyway, making my way back to Oxford, to give you some idea where I'm at. I'm almost in Georgia. I'm about 15 miles from the Georgia border. That's how far out. Oh man, I made that delivery to Heflin, Alabama. If y'all know the area. Oh, 4 drop-offs. For where? Okay. Well, I just got another pickup back to Anniston, which is where I wanted to go. That's where I wanted to make myself back. So I am heading that way. It's 3 drop-offs. $25, 17 miles. Well, of course, I gotta get there. I've got myself way out here in the middle of nowhere. It's gonna take 53 minutes. It's probably be my last Spark. It's getting dark, getting late. So there's so let me Get the navigation going. Yeah, I'm 26 minutes away. So yeah, but they gave me an offer, and this is out here based on three Walmarts out here. So I might have to do this every Sunday afternoon. Yeah, I do my normal shopping in the morning at Pell City, hang around, get some stuff done, have lunch, and then come out here for a few about 3-4 hours and make some extra money. And while I'm out here, one of the other reasons I picked Anniston, while I'm out here, I go check on my parents' house. Have to charge up the battery in my mom's car. The battery died. So anyway, back on the interstate, back towards Anniston, and it's going to make me take there's a shortcut to go through. So, well, I'm going to be honest, this is a little refreshing. Like I said, I need to be more. I just got excited because, oh my God, I'm getting another order. Sure makes up for sitting in the order waiting for a pickup for an hour, 2 hours, and not getting it, and then it get canceled on me. So anyway, on to Anniston and the pickups, and then the drop-offs. See you in a little bit. Well, I just finished the third drop off on that pickup. I was shocked. They again, I was 30 minutes away when I accepted the pickup. And it said it was packing up the entire time I was driving. And then when I finally made it to the store, parked, 15 minutes later, I had the order. So why can this store in Anniston do the pickups, but the Pell City can't? Sounds like management to me. So now shopping's easier at Pell City. That's because I'm so used to it. I know that store inside and out. But it's a lot smaller. The shopping at Oxford, that place is huge. They give you some idea. They have aisles of numbers that don't exist in the Pell City. And they have a bigger food section. Well, Oxford is a major city. Oxford is way bigger than Pell City, so it's understandable. And of course, in the surrounding areas. So it has to be bigger. But yeah, this has been a unique experience. So I got a notification. This coming out here is eye opener for two reasons. One good, one bad. Well, not really bad, sad. this area, my dad was in the military. We lived out in the just north of Anniston, and just west of Fort McClellan. And this whole area was thriving. The neighborhoods were nice. Everywhere. Of course, then, like I explained earlier, the fort closed, and then everything went downhill, including the neighborhood that my mom and dad's house is. It's declining also. Not as bad as the ones I've seen here today. I just find it sobering, sad. This whole area. When I say I grew up, I was here from 6th grade to 9th grade. But we still owned the house. When we were stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, we still owned the house. And then eventually when we went to Germany. Then when we came back, we lived back in the house again. And so I lived back in that house in my college years, my last few years of college. So my parents' house, that house is, basically at that time between, all my school years in college, over a third was spent in that house. Which you got to remember, when you're in a military family, every 3 years you're moving and going to a different school. As I mentioned before, I went to 3 high schools. 1 year here in Anniston, 2 years at Fort Benning, Georgia, and then my final senior year was in Germany. So I know this, a bit. I then drove up and down this area a lot. In fact, in the next town up in Gadsden, where my wife's from, we travel these roads all the time to go, especially holidays. Visit my wife's family, then my family. Just go down this road right here, 431. And then when I was younger, Mom would take me to a used bookstore, and that was in that Blue Mountain area I told you about. That the whole place is run down. There was a bowling alley. That bowling alley is shut down. There was a Pizza Hut there. It's still there. Just the building, like it's the old style Pizza Hut, but it's something else now, or wherever it was. We used to have a putt-putt golf. We used to go there all the time, and that's ruined. All these things that you grew up with, knowing and all that, and then today, having gone around and doing the 2 pickups I've done were 3 drop-offs, and it took me everywhere around the older section of the city and out here, areas that I knew that were very nice. Now they're not. That's been a very sobering effect. How a town got so used to being relied on a military base. You can understand why when the military think about closing the base, the towns fight tooth and nail to keep it, because it is a livelihood for a lot of people, not just for the military personnel. Excuse me. So it's this place. I don't think this place will ever recover unless they've already sold the land. They returned the quote the land of the base, Fort McClellan, back to the city in Calhoun County, and they're trying to make it development. And the old military housing, the very nice military housing, especially the office quarters, are now public housing. It's just sad, to me, to see parts of, areas that you grew up with that were, being run down and gone. I'm sure y'all have, similar stories. If you good, share them with us. I just didn't realize, because, when I finished, of course, when I graduated college, I moved to Birmingham, started my career, lived in apartments, and then got married, divorced, and now I'm married again. But I think this one sticks. We've been together over 20 years. I'm too old for divorce. But, yeah, it's just, but, you spend all those times, you still visit your parents and all that, but you don't go out to the places that you used to go to because you have your own, responsibilities and places and things to do. And that's just, didn't realize how bad things were out here. It was kind of sad, but, it's just, progress, I guess, in the wrong way. But stuff doesn't last forever. I find that, very truthful. It's sobering, when you grow up, you're young, you think you're gonna live forever or do it. But as you get older, like I am now, getting retired, you lose a lot of what you remember. Of course, it's just part of life. Just losing your parents. I've lost both my parents first, and then my wife lost her father about a year after I lost my mom, and so that's been painful. We still, her mother's still around, and so I have a mother-in-law, but that too, and so that's why I say, if you have loved ones, aunts, uncles, even parents, or that live on their own because or the handicap. Getting old sucks, and getting old with nobody else around is even harder. Just like I mentioned in the DoorDash, that one lady that I've been to her house 3 times. The Cracker Barrel fruit cup lady. Just reminds me, if you have somebody that's out there that lives on their own, they hardly have any, or they had siblings, their siblings are gone. Of course, their parents have been long gone. Keep in touch. Call them once a week at least. Brighten their day. It's things change so fast, and I didn't realize how things got bad over here in the old areas that I grew up with. It's just like I said, out of sight, out of mind. When you don't, I have lived my own life over in Birmingham. Of course, we come every weekend or at least once I come over and visit when my mom and dad were still alive. Of course, the holidays and birthdays. You lose touch of how things were around here. So that's just I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but it's just coming out here and sparking out of the Walmart that I grew up shopping with and with my mom, and then going and see the surrounding areas. It's kind of opened my eyes up about how things are precious now. So anyway, I am going to go to my parents' house real quick, check on my mom's car, see if it cranks up, and then I'm going to head home, and I'm going to give a summary of today, and end of the week for sparking, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to give a summary of my entire week, both combined, Spark, DoorDash, how much money and mileage, that type of thing. So something new to try. So anyway, once I'm done here, I'm going to head home and give you a brief summary when I get home. So see you in a little bit. Well, I finally made it home. Unfortunately, I got stuck coming back from Anniston to Pell City on the interstate. They're doing the paving project. Remember during my DoorDash, I'm getting hit with pelted by rocks and all that. Well, they do the paving at night. So, lesson learned. I got off at Lincoln, went through my alternate route. So the next time I do this, going to Anniston and it's late, I'm going to have to go through another way, back through Ohatchee and then Raglan and then that way. So, but yeah, today was very interesting. Wind up with getting 3 orders in the morning here in Pell City, all shopping. And then I did 2 pickups and a shopping I should never have taken. I was just so excited to get an offer and over in Anniston. But today, confirmed earnings is $87.96 with unconfirmed tips at $73.67. So I almost made $150 today, and just in Walmart Spark if the tips come in. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give a briefing of final dollar amounts combined with Walmart and DoorDash, and hopefully the tips will finally process, and we'll go with that. So, in the meantime, we'll go. I guess I just went and stopped and got some groceries. We'll go inside and change, and then tomorrow, probably I'm going to try to do Spark in the morning, just to get the shopping, wait a while, and then do DoorDash during the lunchtime. So anyway, so that's the plan. So have a good evening, and we will see you later. Bye.